Hello and welcome back to Concert Critiques in Cars with Emily. So this is actually a really special concert. I'm in Columbus, Ohio right now for a 21 Pilots home show. So I'm really excited. So this show was at the Nationwide Arena, and getting there was pretty simple. I purposely picked a further away parking lot, one because it was cheaper, and two because I didn't want to deal with traffic afterwards. And so I had to walk, but I stopped for dinner on the way, so it was kind of a nice little time. So getting there was pretty easy, so can't really complain about that too much. All right, so let's get into the show. So Bare Hands, I did listen to their songs once through, so I didn't really listen to it more than once since their last show, so just keep that in mind going into this. I really like the first song. I love the instrumental part to that song. I think it's so good, and again, for me personally, it totally pulls me in and gets me excited for their set. Again, they played that song that I knew for the second song, and so the third song, I just feel like I need to hear it digitally and just listen to it, because parts of it I love and totally get sucked in, and then other parts I'm just like, wait, what is he saying? What is that? So I just really think I need to hear that song, and so maybe I will do that today, find it on Spotify. He did not say anything about pro-choice this time, which isn't surprising because we were in Alabama. They still had that whispery song, and I just really did not enjoy it still. And also, so then they played Agora, the one that I like, and so they played the same songs that they played before, but this time for their newer single, they did not have the female singer actually there, but they had her recorded. So again, just some of that song, don't love the part where she's rapping, but whatever. And it was funny because I actually talked to somebody in the bathroom, and they were like, oh no, yeah, that's their new single. And I was like, oh, that's not cool. And they're like, oh no, it's on the radio all the time. And I was like, and then they ended with Giants, and this time it was so much better. I could hear so much more, and I don't know if it's because I listened to it before, or if it's just because it was clearer or something, but it definitely was better this time, so that I was really, really excited about. So yeah, I was glad that this time it was a little bit better, so hopefully tomorrow if I listen to them again, it'll be even better this time. Alright, so let's get into 21 Pilots. So 21 Pilots basically just played the entire set from last time, with some changes, so I will go through them, and I'll talk about the home show aspects to it as well. So they came out with Jumpsuit, which again, love that song. It's so good. It's such a good first song, and the car comes up with the fire and everything, so that was cool. And then again, they end Jumpsuit and go right into Levitate. And then he goes down into the stage, and then Fairly Local, which is not him on the stage, it's the person on the stage. And so this time he showed up on the opposite side of the stadium, on my side. So I was kind of, if you're facing the stage, I was towards the left side of the stage. So it'll be interesting to see tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to be on the right side, so I was far back, and so tomorrow I'm going to be here-ish, towards the right, towards the front. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes to that same spot or if he switches sides, just because I doubt he will switch sides, but it'll still be interesting to see. So again, it was down on the first tier, and this time I was on the second tier, so it wasn't as cool or close, but still fun. And you hear people who haven't seen them yet, and so it was fun. The people behind me had never seen them, so it was fun to hear them be like, oh my gosh. And then after that, they had the Red Hat video play, and then the Red Hat comes down, and they played Stressed Out. And they still did the whole what's your name thing, but they don't think they did it as often. I think he skipped doing that in the first verse and only did it in the chorus, and only did in the second and third. So I'm going to give myself a high five for that one and say that was all me, and you are welcome. I'm just kidding. But what they did do, and I really, really, really loved, is instead of just singing the verses the same, they changed it, and it was so good. It was more songy, it was just excellent choice. Really, really loved it, and was so glad, and couldn't even remember if it happened last time at the other show in Alabama, but I was like, this definitely was different, and just, I could totally tell, and it was so good, and it was just, I really hope they do it tomorrow, and this was a moment where I was like, all right, this is like home show good. Like, this is something that's different and you're not going to get anywhere else. And then Heathens, they're just so good. Love that song. And then Nigel came out while Josh was playing the drums again, and then they played Legend, and this I was a little bit disappointed with. So halfway through Legend, he stopped to talk about how it was about his grandfather who had passed away a year ago, and it just like kind of blew my mind that as a home show event you didn't say anything more or anything different from when I saw you in Alabama. I don't know. That was like a little bit disappointing, and I get that like you have this show and you have this like thing and this timing and everything and you have to kind of keep it short, but I don't know. I just thought that was an opportunity where you're home, you're at a home show, like you could have mentioned that. So that was again a little bit disappointing. Then they played We Don't Believe It's on TV. I'm personally over that song. I really wish they would play Semi-Automatic or On the Run and Go or Fake You Out. Those are, in my opinion, better choices, but I get it. I can't control it. I'm over that song, and it's great. The crowd gets into it, right? Because they do the yeah thing, and I get it. I really do understand it, but I'm over it. Although it was funny, I guess he made fun of Michigan, which is clearly some sort of rivalry with Ohio, so that was kind of cool. They played The Hype, which was good. And then for Lane Boy, again, this was just like a home show, like subtle little thing. There's a line about brother. The lyric has the word brother in it, and so he like exaggerated that line, like the music kind of dropped a little bit and he just said that line like super specifically. So that was cool. Again, just like a little subtle touch that I loved, that was different from any show that's not a home show. So I really liked that. Then they did Nico and the Niners, and the bridge came down, and he walked across the stage and started, before he played Smithereens, he did mention that at this point in the show, he asks all the people in the seated section to sit down, which happened in Alabama, but in Alabama, he did not say that it was like dedicated to their dads, because they always ask, like, can you just make a part in the show where we can sit down? So he did mention that. So again, maybe that was home showy, but they did that when I went to see them in DC. So that was not exclusive to a home show, but definitely glad that they at least mentioned being home now that they are home and something that was homey to them. So their dad's requesting that definitely made it better and more like home showy. So I'm glad that they at least did that, even though that's not exclusive to home show. I'm glad that they did that. So they played Smithereens, and like halfway through, he said, "This is for my wife." And I was like, is she here? Are you going to say that? Because in the past, when I've gone to home shows, I've been like, my whole family's here, and I'm like so excited. Jen is here tonight. And so again, it's just, why could you not have said that simple sentence? And it just would have made it seem so much more personal and like you are at home. Like, yeah, like this is for my wife and she's here tonight and I'm like excited I get to play it for her again. I don't know. Something simple would have made a difference. Neon Gravestones. I love the lights. I just cannot get over that song. It's so good. And then Bandito. Bandito this time was the highlight of the show. It was so good. He like sang instead of like just like talking like he kind of does in the song. I mean, he's singing in the song, don't get me wrong, but he like sang at the show tonight, and that like gave me chills. So good. And again, I really don't remember that in Alabama, and I don't know if I just like wasn't paying attention or was typing on my phone to take notes for what was going on. Like, I don't know, but it just hit the spot so well, and I was just so excited. It was perfect. It was the highlight of the show for me. It was so good, and I'm so glad that he did that, and I really hope he does it again tomorrow, because that like changes the whole Bandito game. I love that song. I love when he played it last time, and this time was like, it was so excellent. So I really liked that one, and I hope that continues. Then they did Pet Cheetah again, and then Josh walked over the bridge. And so this time, obviously, it wasn't Roll Tide from last time in Alabama, but this time it was the state of Ohio, the 21 Pilot symbol on the inside, and then home on the bottom. So everyone went crazy, of course. So that was cool. And then they played Holding On to Me, and they did, Tyler Goes Into the Crowd. And I like, forgot to mention last time how fun it is because Josh does a backflip off the piano, and then Tyler runs from the stage and jumps like onto and over the piano in like one foul swoop. So I mean, it's just so impressive and it's so fun to watch, and it's, you know, maybe it's just the Ohio crowd like knowing that those things are going to happen in the song. It's just so good. So I really enjoyed that. And then they played Ride, and this time it was different because before the bridge, Tyler was told the pit to find a partner, and then when the drums come in to have them lift them up on their shoulders. So that was a cool touch, and again, just like he's done that before in different states and different cities, but it was definitely a appropriate hometown edition. So again, I'm glad that he did it, and even though I've seen it before in different states, at least he like went all out and did that extra step. So I was definitely glad for that. Then they played Cut My Lip. You know, still feel the same about that song as I did last time. Then they did My Blood, and again they split the crowd and they had the left side sing, the right side sing, and then all sides sing. Really love that song, love hearing it live, really cool. Then they played Morph, and Josh got onto the crowd with his drums, and again, so for Morph, again, Tyler like actually sang parts of that song instead of just like keeping it the same to the CD. He like was actually singing, and it was just so good. Like I loved it. It was so good, so good. I really hope he continues that, and I can't wait to see if it's the same or if it's different tomorrow. And then when Josh was in the crowd, they did the same song, the 7 Army Nation, and he played over it, and then they finished up Morph after he played that little like section in the middle. Then they played Car Radio, which was so good, and came out into the crowd. And again, I don't know if it's just the Ohio crowd and they know like what to do, when to do it, the whole like arm pumping thing and then jumping, and it was excellent. It was really fun. And even Tyler, like, so I know this is gonna sound so weird, so when he gets up on the oh my gosh, what is that called? Like the column thing that he stands on at the end of the song. Recently, he hasn't been doing the same things that he used to do. So originally he used to do the hand pumping thing with the crowd, right? And then he kind of changed to like doing this like punching air thing. And then kind of he just stopped and just kind of done like either nothing or like other random things. But this, he like went back to the air punching thing, and I was so pumped, and I was like, oh, this is just like old school 21 Pilots. I loved it. So that, again, just like a little simple touch, and I just really liked how he like made it feel like an old school 21 Pilot show in that like one little tiny moment. So I thought that was pretty cool too. And then after that, they did the karaoke with Truce, which I don't love. Whatever is fine. I'm not complaining about it, but it just not my cup of tea, so that was fine. And then they did Chlorine, which was good and fun. And then after they had to leave the city, still love those images. I love the bird cages. I think it's so cool. And then all the birds at the end are just so good. So I really like that. And even like they bring back the neon graves, and it's just so good. So I really like that song, and I like hearing that song. And I think it's a really, really, really great way to almost end your show. And so then Trees comes on, and I like need to remind myself that this is really when Tyler kind of talks to the crowd. And that even happened when I went to their show in Dallas, like a couple years ago, after the shooting. It was like they went through the whole show and didn't at all mention the shooting at all. And then it was like, oh, by the way, let's talk about this, and you know, this is why we're still here, and this is why we didn't cancel the show. And it's like, you should have said that earlier. So maybe for these like home shows, I need to just realize that nothing is going to be said or happen until the end, before Trees, when they have time to say things, I guess. Again, I mean, don't get me wrong, there were a lot of subtle changes that I really appreciated, and maybe it was at Alabama and I just wasn't paying attention, but definitely not Bandito. I was paying attention for Bandito, and I feel like I was also paying attention for Morph. So the fact that he changed that and sang the lyrics, such a difference. It's just, it was so good, and I loved it. Anyway, so right before Trees, he talked about, they showed his brother, who is on the crew and has been for a couple months, and he talked about how he's been working hard, and he said this is harder than waiting tables because he has to get up and stay up late. So yeah, it was just like kind of cute, and I was like, oh, finally, like we're getting some family stuff here. This is good. This is the whole point. And then he talked about like how, you know, being able to play was so significant, and it made him think about all the other venues and stuff like that. And then of course they played Trees, and it was fantastic. And there was the smoke shooting up and confetti, and they went into the crowd with the drums, and it was awesome, and it's just super fun. And so yeah, it was really just, again, the same stuff, but a little bit different. So I at least appreciated that it was a little bit different. Would have liked a little more differences, like just one song, please, just like one song, just one different song would have been awesome. So yeah, so let's talk about score. They were really good. And Bandito, the way they sang those lyrics were just so good. But again, they have a couple songs that I'm not a super huge fan of, and even Bare Hands, that one song with like the whispering thing, which actually wasn't as bad this time, but still bad. And then the whole girl singing thing, don't really love that. And yeah, so that's still not like a 10 worthy score for them, because they just have some songs that I'm just not into, and then sometimes you can't hear the lyrics, and then even the song that I knew and loved, Giants, still a little bit of it was not super clear, and just, so yeah. And then for 21 Pilots, again, great set. They played the same songs, which I can't like take credit off for, because I expected it and knew that that was coming. And I do like the subtle changes that they made specifically tonight. But there was maybe one or two moments where you felt like you were actually at a home show, versus like just any other show, where they put like even the things that they say, you know, they put the Ohio lyrics into Smithereens, but they did that in Alabama too. They just put Birmingham. So like nothing was like super just like, this is just a hometown thing that we just do at hometown shows. So that was, I want something special. Play one old song, add a song to your set list, or take away either what we see on TV, or I mean, personally I would get rid of Smithereens, but just any, like literally any song except for Car Radio, Holding On To You, and Trees, you can get rid of and replace. And like even at the end he was like, oh, we, you know, I don't think you realize this, but we played all 14 songs. And it's like, but this has been their lineup for the whole show, so this again isn't something super special just for the home show. So yeah, I just like would love to see them do something really different, and hopefully they will tomorrow. But overall, I'm gonna give this show a, no, I guess I'll give it a, did I give the other one 9.5? So I feel like I can't give it any less because it was better. I'm gonna give it a 9.7. I'm gonna give it a 9.6. 9.6 is a solid score. I wish they would do more hometowny stuff, and Bare Hands again just like fell a little bit short for me. So better, but still fell a little bit short. So 9.6. I think that's a good score. And who knows, maybe we'll get closer tomorrow night. But yeah, I'll see you guys. Bye.